Emmanuel, God is with us. Emmanuel, God is with us. Today I have another quick question. Why am I growing flowers in my vegetable garden? Some of you may ask me. That's so unusual. You could grow more food if you didn't grow flowers. Let us entertain this for a second. Think about it. In order to get food, flowers need to be pollinated. Hey Pearl, I'm sorry. I got too close to Pearl and I'm talking, so she freaked out. She was born on my front porch a few seasons ago, and so she acts kind of like a pet. Okay, back to what I was saying. I am a wildlife friendly garden. Pearl is one of the defenders of my garden. She likes grain, and I grow sunflower seeds, I grow wheat, I grow barley, just little snatches here and there, and I set it out so that I have all kinds of birds in my garden eating the worms and the bugs and different things like that. That's how I keep them in balance. So, but today's question is not about that. I have another one on that, why I grow berries in my cabbage patch, or actually why I grow cabbages in my berry patch. You can take a look at that one if you want to find out how to use birds in your garden. This video is about why I grow flowers in my vegetable patch. Let's ponder it. As I was saying, the way you get fruit or seed in your garden is that the plant produces a flower. That flower attracts some kind of pollinating insect. That insect comes to the garden and they pollinate that flower. And lo and behold, that flower then becomes a fruit. We humans love to eat fruits, but we don't like to eat pollen. We're not pollen eaters. We don't go around our garden touching all the flowers and licking this one and licking that one and, you know, filling our coffers with pollen. We don't do that. You know, God didn't equip us with wings, so we can't fly up to the top of the tree and catch every flower and make sure we have dinner. So, but who does do that? Bees do it, birds do it, but you and I don't do it, okay? So that's why I have flowers, the flowers that I hope bees will like, strategically throughout my vegetable garden. And I gotta have flowers over here that will attract bees, not flowers that will attract humans. A lot of the more decorative flowers you get, they don't even have pollen. If they don't have pollen, they don't attract bees. So don't just think, oh, let me go out and get some cute flowers. Make sure you do your research and get flowers that have a lot of pollen. I have flowers here that I thought would attract bees, and they aren't, you know. But what I do now, I go to the nursery, and if I see bees on the flower, I buy it, because that seems to be the only strategy that's going to work for me. Yeah, see that flower there? It's got a good amount of flowers on it. It's a pretty color that I thought would attract bees. Didn't attract a whole lot. Now these onion flowers did attract bees, but the bee that it attracted didn't want anything but onion flowers. It would eat the onion flower and then it would leave. Over here, there's a nasturtium, and you just saw the bee over there. I'm hoping that that bee will also pollinate my cucumbers. We'll see. If I get good pollination results on that cucumber, I think butterflies also pollinate cucumbers. I think they like pumpkin and cucumber and squash. So, and I'm sorry, cucumbers put a lot of flowers, male and female, out like that. You see that? So there's a lot of opportunity. And the cucumber plant is one where the flowers are just too many. I'm not going to self-pollinate it, and I will not buy a plant that doesn't need a pollinator because I'm going to protect my seed. So there we go with that. I'll show you some more of my flowers. That's a flower that I got because it's supposed to create pollination. I've never seen a bee near it. But if you look at that little flower there, yeah, I'm going to go buy some more of those from my local garden center. I don't know what the plant is, but the bees love it. So I'm going to put a hedge of that in the middle of my vegetable patch, which will mean I can grow less vegetables. But the vegetables I grow, I am going to be more successful with a row of flowers. And that's drought tolerant. It goes bone dry, it doesn't die, so it's a great. Here's another flower that I planted. It has not attracted one bee. I have not seen one bee on a flower of this plant. So that was a bust. Over here, my lavender. I have lavender in the front yard that has way more flowers on it, and that lavender in the front yard is full of bees. So I think this is a younger plant. So next year I think it'll be full of bees. This plant this year is a bee magnet. It's a plant that we use in LA because it kind of looks like heather. And we can't grow heather here because we don't have enough water. But that doesn't stop me from trying. There's a sunflower. Didn't attract very many bees this year. Last year, this is my parsnip. This was a bee magnet last year. This year, I know some bees have come to it because it's been pollinated, and it is still a ladybug magnet, but that's about as far as it goes this year. So I gotta pray for the Lord to bring bees into the area and for God to intervene and stop people from being able to kill bees. They're very important to the sustainability of the human race. You know, people in cities think their bees don't matter, but all bees matter. Too soon. There's a native bee there. Yep, there's some kind of pollinator there. So this one's working for me. This is a good one. Parsnip flowers. I'm not growing, I obviously didn't eat the parsnip. I let it go to seed. And the flowers are very attractive to pollinators. And I may have seen me harvesting squash. That little pollinator may be the reason why I'm getting another little pollinator. I've seen bees going crazy over this plant in other places, but in my yard, not this year. Maybe another year they'll be attracted. Tomato growers. You look at that, you think, oh, it's not producing tomatoes anymore. This plant is a few years old. So the leaves that were here aren't here anymore. But it has grown over here, and it's continuing to grow out over here. So I do have tomatoes. Yep, I got tomatoes. It got a little hot and I wasn't getting any new ones, but now you can see it's setting fruit again. God bless you if you have a cherry tomato plant. You get a lot of food. I don't believe you get any more food from it than you do from a regular sized tomato plant. But what I will say is that it keeps producing more and more small fruits. So the fruits were huge in the early summer before it got hot, and I don't know if these fruit are going to get as big. We'll see. Maybe as it gets into fall, the fruit will get bigger if the plant can stay alive. You know, this plant's over a year old now. So We'll have to see if she can hang in there and give me tomatoes in the winter. Production has gone down, but maybe it's coming back now that it's a little bit cooler. And if it sets fruit when it's cooler, it will hold on to them when it gets hot, but it won't set fruit if it is 90 degrees. It doesn't even have to be 90 degrees here, because I have this plant growing along a fence. That is so that I get fruit earlier, because the plant's warmer at an earlier part of the year. If this plant, you know, feels like it's 90 degrees, whether it is or it isn't, because it's getting the ambient heat, it'll just say, oh no, I'm done making fruit for now. And as soon as we get a little cooler weather, you can kind of look. It's cooler today. It's in the 70s. This plant really loves probably around 80 degrees. That's where it really likes to produce fruit. And it's gone back to producing fruit again. It's grew new branches, but that is the root. That is what all of these leaves are growing off of. Nothing can grow in the soil down here. This soil is full of nematodes. I was able to get that soil right there heat treated, so it kills some of the nematodes, but not this soil right here. It stays cool. I gotta do something. Another fall fruit. So peppers. Aren't these peppers beautiful? Yeah. I'm still barbecuing. These are gonna be barbecued. Yeah. I'm just gonna barbecue the red ones there. They taste like candy when you barbecue them. A little smoky flavor. Oh, it's good. It's an odd vegetable for the summer. It's a beet. The leaves on this are tender enough for me to use as lettuce. You see, the leaves aren't growing very big because I'm growing it in this crack. And root vegetables tend to check the size of the space they're in, and it's putting out a little tiny root because it doesn't feel like it has enough space to do anything else. Oh, I spoke too soon. That one has a pretty sizable root. As you can see, something's going in there and eating it. But they don't give you as big a root as if you have them in a place where they can get more going on. Oh, I was thinking, oh, did I lose one? No, but it's still hanging in there. Looks like it needs some water, though. I better give it some water, because the others are fine here, but that one is stressing. So I'll give that one some water, and hopefully that'll make a difference. You see how the other ones are fine? I watered yesterday. But as you can see, this soil is kind of dry, so it feels a little moist to me, but if you lived any place else, you would think this was dry. I thought it was enough, you know, for a root vegetable. But during the summer, this was what I used on my sandwiches. Beet leaves. Hopefully this beet will produce flowers. I do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plants. I hope that's enough to get a nice seed. This one has a little root on it too. If you have this in a big patch of soil, these roots get huge. These are a big rooted beet.